My God, it was like the perfect game.
We better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
I gotta say, guys, it is late right now. It is... God, this game. This game really showed the difference between a team that really came together. I mean, this was the perfect game. I'm telling you, it was the most perfect game when it came to play calling from the players. Jalen Hurts, I mean, they were aggressive. They looked fresh. They didn't look like... I was worried. I was worried that this team was going to look a little rusty. I was worried that I didn't know, was the Jalen Hurts shoulder thing a lot of BS? Like, what was going on? I didn't know what to expect in this game. Maybe a close one, division rival, both teams that know each other very well. We're us getting laughed at for winning first seed at the last regular season game. And against the Giants' backups, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the New York Giants 38-7. 38-7, the same score we had in the NFC Championship game back in 2017. I want to give a little rundown on this game really quick, real fast. Kind of just tell you what was going on during this game. Okay, now, overall, the Eagles had the ball. Time of possession was like 35 minutes for the Eagles. I mean, it was actually crazy. They stopped it. Saquon Barkley only had 7 yards in the first half. The defense was great. I mean, look, you go into the first quarter, you had you gave the kill shot right from the start. Ran with Miles Sanders. They gave that kill shot, that big, long, that 32-yard pass to Devontae Smith, and then a Dallas Goedert touchdown after that. The defense got in the field. You ran your first stunt with Reddick and Josh Sweat had a half sack each. The Giants went on 4th and 8 on that play. Why, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't put points on the board. And then, Devontae Smith had a touchdown, the bubble screen to the right side. The Bradbury pick was fantastic, and he was really happy about that. Bradbury actually said post-game that was his his top 5 moment in his career, because obviously the team let him go because of cap situations, and he got to a better team and was able to beat his own team in the playoffs, which is a great thing. And that was because of the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson blitz, the safety blitz, and got right in his face. And I don't even think Daniel Jones seen, Bradbury there, was about to jump the route. You get into the second quarter, Boston Scott touchdown and which led to, the Dallas Goedert catch led to the Boston Scott touchdown. Jalen Hurts had a rushing touchdown. Then we go into the second half and we're like, what kind of team are we going to see? The Eagles ate up so much clock in the second half. So much clock, okay? Devontae Smith dropped a crucial first down. So the Eagles went 3 and out a couple times in the third, fourth quarters. You had a sack by Brandon Graham, a strip sack by Josh Sweat. Fletcher Cox had a sack. Reddick had, a sack. I mean, everyone had a piece of Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was rattled. You had the touchdown by Kenneth Gainwell when we put the backups in against still the Giants starters, which obviously made it a big score, which got us to 38 points. I mean, it was just, I got to say, the coaching staff really impressed me. It really did. I went into this game thinking, the coaching staff was going to be the major problem here. A.J. Brown had a obviously I wouldn't say he had a bad game. He missed that. I think Jalen Hurts missed him on that that go route that he went upfield, and that was overthrown. Devontae Smith had 60-something yards for the day. No Quez, barely. I don't think Quez even had a catch in this game. Zach Pascal had some shots in this game, a couple catches. The running backs are probably my favorite because of what they did. The offensive line, Lane Johnson played fantastic. He looked like I don't even know. It looked like he wasn't even bothered. I saw in the beginning of the game, Lane Johnson was kind of, staggering a little bit, but as the game went on, it seemed like he was perfectly fine. The abductor injury that he has right now that he needs surgery on, like we were kind of worried about it. We didn't know what was going to happen. How long was he going to last in the game? Lane Johnson was able to get out of the, obviously by the middle of the fourth quarter, was able to get some rest, get out of this game when the Eagles had a very good lead at the time, and the game was pretty much over. Okay, but Kenneth Gainwell had his biggest game of the year, okay? Over 100 yards rushing for Kenneth Gainwell. These running backs ran hard. Their vision was great. Kenneth Gainwell was fine. Every bit of open space he could find. I mean, Kenneth Gainwell, I don't think he's had a 100-yard game. I don't think. I mean, I'm trying to think right now if he even had a 100-yard game this year or past couple seasons. I don't think so. Miles Sanders had, I think, on 17, 18 carries, like 90-something yards. I mean, they had, 270 yards rushing this game? I mean, if you were to tell me that going into this game that they were going to have that many rushing yards, I would say it was over at this point. The Eagles win this game. Boston Scott had like 6 carries, had the touchdown in the red zone. I mean, the MVP is the offensive line. There's no doubt. That offensive line killed it. I mean, totally did a really good job. Jalen Hurts. This was the funny thing. Before the game, Jalen Hurts actually, what the announcer, the lady, said at the beginning of the game. It's like, how is Jalen? Oh, I spoke with Jalen Hurts. He said he's far from 100%. He's far from 100% with his shoulder. I was like, why would he say that? And then I was like, there's no way he's actually going to tell the truth. But there was only maybe 2 times where he ran the ball running into people. I think there was like 2. I don't know if it was 3 times. I think it was like 2 times he ran into people, and I was getting a little nervous. But there were some runs where Jalen Hurts was very cautious with himself. He slid, protecting his body, which was a great thing. There was a couple times he got hit, but they hit him in his good shoulder, not his bad one. So I didn't really see him land on that shoulder too much or take too many hits. The offensive line did a fantastic job protecting him. I mean, absolutely protecting him. They lost Landon Dickerson in the game earlier. Dillard got in there at left guard, and he played really well. I got to say, he had a couple really good blocks. Then Dickerson came in later. So coming out of this game, injuries, stuff like that, I think we're perfectly fine. You have a chance to get Avonte Maddox back next week, but the Giants were outcoached. We bullied them around. We bullied the Giants. They had no answers. Martindale, I thought in the first half, which I was really surprised. Okay, Wink Martindale with that defense, they had no answer for that defense, for that offense. Wink Martindale, I think, barely even blitzed in the first half of that game. I saw him dial up some stuff in the second half, but jeez, man, it's just this team looked like they weren't on a bye week. This team looked like they played last week. We actually found out during this game, because the play calling was so good, guys. The play calling was so good. I mean, the defensive line was effective. The secondary, they played man-to-man. Not the whole game, but they played man-to-man. They were dialing up blitzes, stunts. I mean, I was like, man, am I dreaming right now? Is this something that is this something they were dumbing down for the past few weeks? Remember the rumors that were coming out that Steichen and Gannon were dumbing down the offense and defense? We weren't showing much to teams. Even that last game against the Giants to get the number 1 seed, I don't think they took away, they handicapped Jalen Hurts for that game. They did enough just to beat the Giants' backups. But, man, did they really show so much? The only thing, they had, 3 and outs the whole entire game? Really? I mean, they eat up 35 minutes of clock. I mean, the run game is just insane. It's insane. I had no problem with the running backs, the offensive line, the quarterback, other than the overthrown ball to A.J. Brown in the end zone. And obviously, I think we had some issues with the screen game a little bit. The screen game got a little too much at times, but this was the 100% perfect play calling. I didn't expect to say this going into this game or coming out of this game. I expected us to win this game. And I said to myself, the Eagles have more talent than the Giants at almost every position. Okay, that is just 100% truth with depth behind it. But, okay, when it came down to it, it came down to the coaching. And that's why I looked at the Giants. They were scrappy, they were tough, but the Giants are a second half team. The Giants have adjusted well in the past in the regular season in the second half very well. The Eagles are more of a first half team. They came out in the second half. They gave up that trick play to the Giants in the third quarter. It was a trick play. I was like, whatever. I'll give it to them. It's a trick play, whatever. But the Eagles held on. The Eagles ate up so much clock, the run game in general. The Giants, that we tired that defense out. By the third quarter, by the end of the third quarter, the Giants' defense was done because their defensive line was tired out. Dexter Lawrence couldn't even breathe. It looked like he just had 10 Big Macs and wanted to go to sleep. I mean, that defense was just tired. Simple as that. Okay? I understand people are like, why not give the ball to Quez, A.J. Brown? Like, I said to myself, I said this before the game all week, okay? I said Devontae Smith, and I think Dallas Goedert has a big game. Hawkinson from the Vikings tight end last week, he had a big game, and I thought Dallas Goedert was going to have an even bigger game, and he did. I forgot how many yards he had during this game, but Goddard had a fantastic game. I mean, Devontae Smith had some good catches. A.J. Brown, I don't know if A.J. Brown was doubled or whatnot. Like, people complain about targets and all that stuff. I don't care about any of that, man. Like, however you got to win, whatever is working, whatever matchups are working, you take advantage of those matchups. You know what I mean? Jake Elliott kicked fine today, and it was his birthday. It was his birthday last night, yesterday. I'm honestly surprised that we have. I'm not surprised because we have the talent to get it done. I didn't know the coaching aspect, the way they played the past few weeks. I understand. We've only lost one game with Jalen Hurts. I understand that Minshew took over for 2 games and it wasn't pretty. But our defense didn't play great the past few weeks. We didn't. There was things that just seemed really weird. I'm like, Gannon can't be that stupid. But they dominated. They bullied. The Giants couldn't tackle. The Giants got outcoached. The Giants had no answer for this offense. They couldn't stop Jalen Hurts. They couldn't stop this read option. They just couldn't stop him. Plus the protection was so good. Saw nothing from Kayvon Thibodeau. Saw nothing from nobody on that defense. I mean, nothing. Richie James, or whatever his name was, he had that wide open pass, and I think in the third, fourth quarter, whatever it was, and they dropped it. It was a potential touchdown. They totally dropped it. I mean, that was the only blown coverage I saw all day. And then obviously the end of the game, Kenneth Gainwell getting that touchdown, and then right after that, I think it was after that, before that, I forgot what happened. I think it was at the end of that, Josh Jobe, Eagles took out their starters, middle of the end of the fourth quarter. Josh Jobe comes in, hits Richie James right, and clocked him clean. These backups came in and they played even harder. And then Kevon Wallace on the next play knocks down one of the guys for a first down. He clocks him too off his feet. So the atmosphere was great in Philadelphia. I mean, thank God. Okay, the number one thing I think is really important for this team, they have that first round bye. Okay, that was really important to get guys back. But having home field advantage, I think, was huge for this team. Absolutely huge. No doubt. Okay, having the NFC go through Philadelphia is this. I don't know how this team would have done on the road, but I'm saying at home it was the perfect matchup for us to have. Okay, I went into this game thinking, it's going to be a close game. Man, the coaching was perfect. This was the best play calling I've ever seen. I laugh because I'm like, wow, I'm shocked. I'm shocked over it. I'm not shocked over the talent because you have the talent to do whatever you want. You have the best roster in the NFL to beat any team. I don't care next week what happens. I don't care. We're going to enjoy ourselves, watch football on Sunday, and enjoy this ride the way it is, okay? The Eagles could beat anybody. There's no doubt about it. I think my favorite player on defense, I thought Reed Blankenship, had a couple. He had 2 coverages he had in the beginning of the game, and he gave up some yards on 2 coverages. Then he was fine. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson almost had a pick. Marcus Epps almost had a pick. Obviously Bradbury was the big one, which we all kind of were like, if Bradbury gets a pick in this game, that'd be awesome. Jumped the route and had some extra motivation to get, he just played really well. I think the defensive line was just monstrous. Hassan Reddick, the one guy said was going to have a big game, and Josh Sweat coming back. I mean, Jesus. I mean, first time coming back to this defensive line, and Brandon Graham having a sack. I mean, it was a team effort. It wasn't the offense helping out the defense. It wasn't the defense helping out the offense. Like, this was a elite team domination. This was domination at the end of the day. The Eagles are going to the NFC Championship game. I mean, like, what an amazing year. And we're not done yet. I mean, we still have playoff football next weekend, next Sunday, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. So all I got to say is I'm happy with this team, what they did. I didn't expect the outcome the way it did. I knew the Eagles were going to win this game. I had a good feeling the Eagles were going to win. I didn't want to be cocky this week. And I wasn't trying to be cocky this week at all. All I wanted was it's up to this coaching staff to get things done. This coaching staff put these players in the right position to win this game. It's going to be a dominant performance, but I didn't expect for a division game and knowing both teams knowing each other so well. We physically beat them. I mean, we physically, mentally, everything. We beat them. Okay. And not to say the Giants aren't going to have a good future, not to say the Giants are going to do anything in their future, because I think the Giants have a big future ahead of them. I think that coaching staff is great. They had a good year, so I got to respect that for what they did this year because I'm unbiased in that regard. But we kicked the crap out of them. we kicked the crap out of them. Like, simple as that. It could have made my night any better. Okay, this team it makes my day a whole lot better. And I live in New York, so I'm gonna rep the Eagles all over where I go, and people are gonna be mad. I don't care, I don't care. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys thought about the game in general. Jalen Hurts, this offensive line, these running backs, the defensive line, how these coaches just outsmarted the Giants, how the Giants couldn't defend against this offense, just how they couldn't attack us. Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on the game. It was just absolutely amazing, man. If I could go back and I'm gonna rewatch highlights. I'm gonna look at all the press conferences. We'll have more videos out tomorrow, and NFC Championship game, man. We're ready to go. I'm ready to go. Now, see you guys on the next one. Shake Squad up, fly slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.